What was here on this land before were a series of auto body repair shops back in the 50s and 60s, I think, back when there really wasn't a lot of federal or environmental oversight for businesses. So businesses pretty much did what they wanted to do. So what it looks like to us is that a lot of what they did is they just dumped a lot of that toxic car stuff, oil, transmission oil, whatever they did was in the soil. Not only did we have to remove huge quantities of soil, there was actually nowhere in California that would take the soil. So we ended up having to ship it out of state.
We got a grant from the state to help remove those contaminants. Secondly, it was right next to a light rail station that had one of the higher crime statistics of any light rail station around the community.
Before, the neighborhood seemed to be a little more rundown. There was nothing here. It was just the light rail, and people would linger longer. And it was really a loitering situation, but with nothing here.
We really were looking for a project that would kind of start to fill some of the needs that the neighborhood wanted. We spoke with the residents and they told us loud and clear that they wanted something that would address affordable housing, have some mixture of commercial and retail, and so that's how we developed the vision for La Valentina.
What the city's trying to do is come up with more compact development that's closer to transit, especially our light rail stations that have been somewhat underutilized in the past.
You had a community that already existed here, and so you had this transit stop that was stopping on an empty lot.
We came up with a design that we felt really worked well to bring those eyes on the street, to add a number of transparency points and points of where we had windows that would look out at corners, that it wasn't just about a front of a building, it was about all sides of the building.
We wanted to have something that was really active when you went by, that felt related, but also varied. So it's got the curved part, and it's got this kind of balcony part. Essentially, it's a little private open space, and most of the windows in the unit face that little balcony, which is recessed and quite shaded. It also makes the building not look like an apartment building from the outside. It looks like something completely different. We're standing in the lobby. It's outside. All the circulation is outside, and that's a fantastic thing. It allows people to open their doors, get through ventilation. Everybody can see out. The ground level is slated to have a cafe, have some activity. So I think all those things add up to a better place to live, a more urban, more exciting place to live.
La Valentina North is what we call our townhomes. Those are a series of 18 three-bedroom apartments.
Our approach to the design of the building was essentially to maximize the usable area on the site. It's an infill project, so it's a challenging site. So we took very traditional elements like the front porch and incorporated that into solar shading for the front windows, which are west-facing. Then we used a sunscreen device for the upper floors. We used color to break up the mass so that even though it's a large building, it's got a lot of articulation, a lot of bay windows. In the intervening space, we have a courtyard, which also doubles as a vehicle access and parking for the project. The biggest challenge was in the envelope of the building. By the envelope, we're talking about the roof and ceiling assembly and the wall assembly.
6-inch walls with blown-in cellulose insulation, which is basically just recycled newspapers ground up, mixed with a binding agent, water, and sprayed through a gun into the walls. They come back in and shave off the excess to create a densely packed insulation in the stud cavity. On the exterior of the project, there's 2 inches of insulation, 1 inch of polystyrene with a polyisocyanuride insulation on the outside. So it's 2 inches of different kinds of insulation covered with 1 inch of stucco. We've sealed around penetrations through the walls, such as light fixtures or plumbing, to prevent air from coming into the building.
I know last month we only used $4 on our PG&E, so that's really phenomenal. We think on average our SMUD bill may be $60, but it may actually be less than that. On our side, we have the townhouse. The stairs aren't on the community wall, so you're not hearing people pound up and down stairs all day long. It's really smart construction. The air conditioning is phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. When you run it, you gotta turn it off. It feels really good to be this close to downtown. Everything we need is right here. So it's great. It's great. We don't use our car anymore because we don't need to. On the 4th of July, we walked up and down the street just to kind of, meet the neighbors. And it was a real family atmosphere. And I can only see that getting bigger.
The financing of this project was tough. We had to incorporate a lot of different elements that a typical development wouldn't have to accommodate. We spent a lot of effort designing and coordinating with multiple different agencies to improve the sewer, the water, the electrical, the stormwater drainage, the fire safety. I mean, it was a long list of things to do in order to get this project ready. Because we wanted to really achieve something special here, and that really had to do with energy efficiency. We worked with SMUD, which is the Sacramento Municipal Utility District, for some special financing that would allow us to build the area's first near net zero energy project.
The voters, the ratepayers, own the utility, and as a result, they elect the board of directors that set policy. SMUD covered the energy efficiency portion of this particular project. But other agencies, such as the Sacramento Housing Agency, contributed funding as well.
We've been involved with this from the very beginning. It has been 20 years, if you can imagine how long it took us to really bring this to fruition. We actually put in $7 million of the $25 million to make this project go, because you need that gap, you need that financing, and that has always been the role, is to continue to create affordable housing opportunities. So with the demise of redevelopment, our concern is that we don't have that fundamental tool that we need to continue to deliver on projects like this that really benefit the communities that they're intended for.
When you do affordable housing, the public has to invest in it. And when the state is broke, it's really hard to do that.
If there isn't a new tool that the state comes up with in terms of funding, that will be the end. And you have to continually work on them. As I've mentioned, it takes years and years to make it all happen. So we're really, really hopeful that the state will create another vehicle for affordable housing so we don't lose the momentum that we have gained so far.
Our main goals in undertaking this project is frankly doing something that would be transformational. So we wanted to be able to take that bar and actually raise it as high as possible. So we wanted to build a project that was architecturally significant, that would provide for a wonderful gateway landmark location. In addition, we wanted to do something not only that provided affordable housing for families and the adjacency near transit, the energy efficiency piece was really something we wanted to take on and do better than anyone else had done. I believe we have created the most energy efficient apartments in all of Sacramento. I think it really raises the bar for all future development in this region to take what we've done and to continue to improve upon it, because I think in the future we are not going to have the same type of fossil fuels that we have today. We need to start moving towards a sustainable society by energy conservation and by energy production. I think here we've set out to meet these goals, and I think we've exceeded them.